welcome to Mind Your Business, a channel where we are in at everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Now, it does seem like a lot of these reality shows are sending their cast off to DR. I'm like, is there some sort of a network discount going on? Can you guys, swing that for your viewers as well? You know what I mean? Like, because I'm watching all this lovely sunshine. I'm like, oh, this looks good. Anyway, let's get into it, people. While going into talk, my inquisitive crew, let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. So, of course, we pick up this week with them still being out in Dom Republic. And we've got the crowning ceremony going on, or as Karen called it, a clowning ceremony, which had me cracking out. It's like, yes, Karen with the shade in the confessionals. So yeah, I mean, I thought Karen was still gracious about it. She didn't let it really get to her too much, which I feel like Gizelle really wanted, because, Gizelle's very messy, very bad mind. She wanted to get under her skin. But, Karen's like, well, there can be more than one grand dame. I'm like, well, no, actually, as far as I'm concerned, Karen is the only grand dame, okay, for Potomac. That's the one that I recognise personally. I thought she was gracious anyway. She didn't really let it get to her. I've always thought it was funny also that Karen let Gizelle know that she don't live in Potomac, so why on earth is she crowning? Because she doesn't have no jurisdiction there, basically. But yeah, I just love that Karen called it a clowning. I just thought, yeah, and yes, I agree with Karen that Gizelle is a clown. Anyway, next we move on to night golf. So everyone is still quite separate on the night golf. I mean, in terms of, the cliques. But anyway, the night golf looked like it was quite a fun little activity. You've got Gizelle talking about, the guy that she's dating, Jason, and talking about, if they're not exclusive, but if he was to post someone on social media, she wouldn't be happy about it because they've spoken about that. Karen was speaking to Candice about the fact that she walked away during the ceremony because, Candice just weren't here for the foolishness, and I don't really blame her. But Karen just said it quite right, which is, Gizelle has absolutely nothing going on for her, so she has to take jabs. But, Karen wasn't bothered about it. So I'm like, well, good for you, Karen. But yeah, she definitely does seem to take jabs at people. She just needs to find some happiness in her life. I feel like she's so miserable. Later, we see the ladies at dinner. And Gizelle brings up her daughter Grace, going off to university, and thanks Karen for her advice about not getting too emotional and not like missing out on the moment. And, talking about her daughter going off to a HBCU in Florida. And Mia asks whether she's concerned about, the fact that she's going to be going to Florida because of the governor over there and his ridiculous rules that he has in place. Wendy made a good point, which I thought, because obviously Wendy knows politics quite well. So she mentioned that the governor basically is waste, and mentions black and brown people that are getting killed out there. And, they kind of use these stand your ground laws as ways to get out of it and to excusing, these murders. So I thought that was just a fair point, where she was just saying that she would be scared to send her boys there. Gizelle was saying that she's okay. She feels like, her daughter's covered. She's obviously still concerned, but covered. What I did notice, though, is the production, once again, trying to make Wendy and Candice look messy, because they were smirking at each other. But to me, they could just have their own little joke while they're smirking at each other, because I have that going on with my friends sometimes. I'm sure you guys do too. But it felt like it was a stitch up. I didn't feel like they were laughing at the daughter, because Candice said, oh, well, congratulations. Them two were looking at each other. But I think they're probably looking at each other thinking, well, hold on. Gizelle pays us dust, like doesn't talk to us at all. And now she wants to talk to us and wants our input. So they're probably thinking, well, we might not want an input. That could be a smirk for that reason, or it could be something completely, totally unrelated. But I felt like the production were being very messy, trying to kind of hone it in on them. There was no eye rolling. I didn't see no eye rolling going on. I just saw them kind of like trying to hold back little smirks and laughs. So I don't know why Robyn was over there up in their business, up in their face, when your friend, your bestie, Gizelle, was talking. Shouldn't you be paying attention to them? Why was you over there watching these guys? And why is production trying to make them look like they're villains? Like they're trying to get rid of them off the show is the way it feels to me. Like they're trying to drum that up. But for me, it's having the opposite effect. I want Robyn and Gizelle off the show, because I just feel like one of them has got to go. It's ridiculous. And at this point, Gizelle might as well go with her bad mind self, because what the hell is she doing? Once they were talking about Grace's situation, there's a point where Karen does say to Necker and say, this is kind of like a sisterhood, like we're here to try and support each other. So of course Gizelle takes the opportunity to try and shade Karen. At any point in time she gets to poke at Karen, she does. And I just think she's very jealous of Karen. She just needs to just give it up. Yes, Karen looks great for her age, and she just comes across with good vibes. That's how she strikes me. I just feel like Gizelle just comes across as very miserable vibes. She's a beautiful one, but miserable. Anyway, so when Karen mentions, them being a sisterhood, and because of the fact that she gave, the advice to Gizelle brings up with her messy self that, well, Karen, you did mention Mia sleeping with a rapper, at Necker's house. So basically she's saying that wasn't very sisterly. So you've got Mia and Karen kind of going back. Karen lets it be known that, that she's either people coming for her marriage and, all the rumors that people keep spreading about her marriage. Mia's acting like she's got some dirt on her, testing Cameron, basically saying, oh, well, do you want to try kind of thing. Do you want to try her? So, do you want her to spill her tea? I just had like a flashback to last season with her and her best friend, Jacqueline. I just thought, Mia, you're not a good friend because last season you threw your best friend on the bus, dashing out information about her to people that she didn't know. Now you're saying you've got some tea on Karen that you just haven't spilt yet, basically. So you're giving bad vibes as a friend, definitely. I don't like those sort of friends that you tell someone something and then they turn into vex friends and then they want to go and spread your business everywhere. That's a no for me. Yeah, I just felt like that wasn't good. Karen kind of just said, well, let's move it on. And of course, Gizelle, being messy, and Big Head Ashley, also very messy, was just like in confessionals, oh, well, if Karen moved it on, it must mean she's got things to hide. There must be some truth to it. It's just like, you guys find something else to do. Anyway, at the dinner, you also have Kiana, who I like. I think she seems like she's really nice. She thanks Gizelle for checking on her because she wasn't feeling well, and she lets it be known to Candice and Wendy that, you guys didn't check on me. So I thought she done it in a nicer way. It wasn't really combative. It was just like, you guys didn't check on me, and they kind of were like, oh yeah, it wasn't intentional kind of thing. And I felt like it was received well and everyone kind of moved on. So next day, basically you've got them going down for breakfast. And then you see Mia talking to Gizelle about Karen. I'm like, what is it with everyone having to just chat about each other all the time? Go and speak in their face, because that's one of the things that Karen said at the dinner table, was that she is someone who will tell you to your face, whereas Mia will go and talk behind your back. And here she is now talking about Karen to Gizelle, and Gizelle cannot wait to stir it, because Giselle's stirring the pot with her big spoon, talking about, well, I think she's vexed about what happened, last season when they were in Miami and the disgusting behaviour that Mia displayed to Wendy. And obviously Karen went to go and check on Wendy. And when she came back to Mia, Mia was upset that she checked on her, and it's trying to say that shows her loyalties and all this kind of crap. So Gizelle has come up with the notion that this is the reasoning for why Karen is upset with her and, throws in the whole fact that, well, she brought you to the group. So Mia's saying, so what does that mean that I'm a slave? Because she introduced me to everybody, basically. I just thought, you women are just so miserable. What is the problem here? Anyway, so of course later when they're getting breakfast, Mia's being sarcastic, talking about, oh, Queen Karen, I'm here to serve you. And I thought Karen kind of paid dust and was just like, I feel like she knows that she's trying to be antagonistic. So she kind of just was like, oh yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. Let's, just keep it moving. I just feel like Karen's like, I ain't got time for you and you petty bees over here. I'm just not in it. And then you've got Gizelle in her confessional talking about she isn't talking to Wendy and Candice because they were making faces at dinner. I'm like, woman, just shut up your mouth, because you don't speak to them anyway. You don't acknowledge them anyway. You went to Eddie's event, Eddie's weed event. You didn't speak to Wendy at all. And that was her husband's event, and you've been around each other, from Austin to wherever else. You haven't spoken to her. So why did you feel the need to say, oh, well, I'm not speaking to them because they were making faces? You've not been speaking to them the whole time. And no one doesn't seem to care either, because you're just too sour-faced and miserable. Like, she's such a pretty woman, but she's just miserable. It's just sad. After that, they go off and have their games. Robyn set up a game, and it was around sex questions. It was a funny game, I must say. It was funny. It was good to see them actually all just having a laugh without any weird vibes. Like, Robyn, to me, was keeping it all kind of cordial with everybody. And I feel like she can do that, whereas Gizelle doesn't do that as well. Robyn does that better, being cordial when she really wants to. Anyway, I thought it was funny because, you've got Kiana talking about, she really had her whole face, so she's fulfilled her fantasies to her question. Ashley talking about she last had sex in January with someone that she hit and quit, basically. Then you've got Robyn's question, I thought was very interesting, about, what is a fetish that maybe her or partner wants, and her partner wants to watch her sleep with someone else. Now, of course, Karen had her shade talking about, of course he wants threesomes. But I'm like, she says he doesn't mind if it's with a woman or with a man. I'm like, Okay, love. That is very, very interesting indeed. I'm definitely side-eyeing that one. Gizelle was talking about, her question was about, who's better in bed? Was it athletes or model or pastors? And she's talking about athletes basically while she's dating a model. I thought that was quite interesting. And of course, they asked the question to me about, who was a rapper that she had sex with. She won't answer from that question. She picked up her drink quick and was ready to sip away. I thought that was interesting that she said that she got permission from Gordon to sleep with him, but they weren't married. So I'm like, this is interesting. But she didn't reveal the rapper because she didn't want to incriminate him. Now, Neka, I just thought, yeah, you just lying, honey, because she's chatting about she'd trade partners and mentioned Juan and Gordon, but in a confessional, she mentions Juan, saying that she would F him, and then said that she's not going to kill anybody, but she should save Eddie and give him his freedom. I'm like, it sounds like you probably wanted to, that was the two husbands you had on your radar. I reckon you would have swapped with Eddie or you would have swapped with Juan, but you didn't want to say that. And once again, Wendy stood on your brain. Candice, I was like, how is it you're chatting about you're only having sex 2 times a week, but yet you're trying to have a baby? Yes, Kiana, you are right, honey. She needs to be getting a move on with that because, girl, you need to put in some more effort. Start taking some ginkgo, do something, yeah? Take some vitamins, get your energy back up, girl, because what is going on over there? Anyway, if it works for you, then that's all great. Now, Karen's question about, how many partners I had in the last 5 years. I know to me, she was just playing with that question because I'm like, the woman's married. I don't know whether they got an arrangement or what. But of course, Karen was just talking about, she had some wet dreams. So she's saying she's had about 40 as far as she's concerned, according to her wet dreams. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Lunchtime by the beach looked really beautiful. It was a really nice location. Ashley's talking about, being by herself and finding it hard because she's on her own with the kids. And everyone's saying, oh, yeah, you're single now, so we get it. But she's saying she's scared to divorce and that she kind of doesn't necessarily want to divorce because, she likes to have Michael there. But Mia then asks, if Michael's helping her out financially. She said that he doesn't give her any money, apparently. That's just what Ashley says. But then Wendy used the opportunity to ask Mia, did she get with Gordon for his money? Now, Mia, like, what the hell, honey? She is proper Jack and Nori full of stories because I was like, listen, I watched you last season and you spoke about how you grew up poor, you didn't have anything, and how when you met Gordon, he was, you was in your strip club and he was, he was a high roller, like Wendy asks, like everyone asks, because I don't understand how Mia is now saying that how Gordon's broke and she was the one with the money. And she had more money that she had inherited. I'm like, where have you inherited this money from, please? Please, do you mean that you saved up your money from your stripping and then you had money that way? Because it's just not making any sense. It's just giving lies. Like, what is going on here? But apparently she had more money than Gordon. I'm like, I couldn't help but crack up when Candice chatted about a stripper heiress. I was like, exactly. I ain't never heard of a stripper heiress, but maybe this is one. But no, I just didn't buy it. I just felt like your story just keeps on changing, Mia. You're a very interesting woman, but your story is definitely changing and changing by the seasons. Like, you do realise it's on TV. You said these things on TV. So I'm like, I don't know about that story, honey. I really don't know about that story. But all the women were also baffled by that. I mean, look at Giselle's face. Giselle looked like a granny in his hat, by the way. But Granny Gizelle was looking very baffled and miffed. All the women were like, what the hell is she saying? Everyone was baffled because obviously they've also heard this story of her meeting him at a strip club, him being a high roller, saving her from the strip club, essentially. But, now she's turning it. Now that the man is broke now, she seems to have rewritten history. What was it that Kenya said? A revisionist historian. There you go. That's what she's giving. But anyway, Ashley started to talk about how, yes, Michael doesn't give her no money, but she's working on her herself because she said she's building up her confidence and she's seen a confidence coach. And one of the things she had to do was to write a song for her birthday. And the song that she sang was actually really nice. I was like, okay, Ashley, okay, come through with the healing vibes. Okay, we like it. So good for her. And everyone seemed really supportive. After that, they moved down to the beach because obviously, they were sitting at a restaurant overlooking the beach. So they went down to the beach so they can go and, chill, get in the water. Robyn was sharing that, it's a very popular location for some photo shoots. So they all decided they're going to do some photo shoots, which was really cute. But then after the photo shoots now, you've got Robyn sitting down with Gizelle, with Mia and with Ashley. So basically the light skin squad was sitting down together. And Robyn decides to start speaking about Wendy and Candice and just being bad mind with her light skin crew. talking about, you know, they were making faces, didn't like that they were making faces when she was talking about her kids and, you know, kids are off limit basically. And I'm like, Robyn, you must have a memory of a goldfish, because what the hell? You were the one who just last season didn't even want to invite Wendy's kids to your kids' birthday party, and you're talking about kids. You happily exclude them. Then you tried to get Candice, because you felt bad and because of the backlash, you tried to say, oh, well, Candice can bring Wendy's kids, and Candice and Wendy weren't tight like they are now. So no, I just feel like her memory needs to be sorted out, because she's just chatting rubbish at this point. It's just like, shut the hell up. What are you talking about, woman? What are you really talking about? Them just sitting there talking about Candice and Wendy, to me, was just boring. If you clocked it, why didn't you speak at the time? Why didn't you say, hey guys, you guys are right at the end of the table? Because they could be having their own private conversation. Didn't mean they were being rude about her daughter. They might just have their own little secret thing going on. Not to mention, you guys pay them dust half the time. So they're probably just thinking, okay, maybe we're out of this conversation, because clearly you guys hardly speak to them. So I don't think it was that big a deal. I just feel like it's them being ridiculous. Like I said, it could be their own private joke. Gizelle and Robyn make faces all the damn time, like at each other when they're talking about Wendy, when they're talking about Candice, they make faces all the time. So I just think they're very hypocritical, and they just need to come off the damn show at this point. It's really jarring me. It really is. And then you've got Wendy who comes over and says, with Candice and Karen, is like, oh, what are you guys talking about? And they look like they have just been caught, you know, with their hands in the cookie jar, basically. But anyway, we'll see what happens next week. I'm sure this show is wrapping up soon. It needs to wrap up, and they need to shake it up and get rid of Gizelle or Robyn. Keep Wendy, keep Candice, keep Karen, of course. I like Kiana too. She can stay. Nneka, you know, I feel like this week she showed a bit more of herself, which is cool. She just needs to get out of the whole obsession with Wendy. But I feel like that someone's put a battery in her back about that. Of course, I had to check out what social media was saying. So here are some very interesting tweets. What do you guys think of the show? Let me know your thoughts below. Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.